All right, everybody. We will start with Ms. Rosenhoover. Kenneth King. Kenneth King, raise your hand. Wave your hand for me. Mr. King. Rosenhoover, there you go. All right, it's pre-trial is position 7. 22 CP 211260. Kenneth King, 126 days without indictment. There is no bond as of August the 6th. Cruelty to children in the first, cruelty to children in the second. 2 counts of reckless conduct. Pre-trial.
No prior arrest.
All right, Ms. Rosenhoover.
Your Honor, Mr. King is 24 years old. He is born and raised here in Georgia. His entire family lives here. The address on file is 1358 Epworth Street, Southwest, and that's where his parents live. He would be able to return to stay with them. I spoke with his dad today and confirmed that. Your Honor, his father does own his own company and his mom is college educated. He himself he did graduate high school and is attempting to get it, or he is attempting to get his GED, so he didn't graduate, apologies. And prior to his arrest, he was working at Company DA and cabs, installing cabinets and doing other demolition work. He would be able to get other employment. Your Honor, we will acknowledge that these charges are incredibly serious, and Mr. King is well aware of that, but he has at this point been in custody now for 128 days waiting for a bond. He's still on a no bond status, and the case has not been indicted, and he has no criminal history whatsoever. So we would ask for a $30,000 bond total, and I would ask the court to do $15,000 on count 1, $10,000 on count 2, and $2,500 on each of the reckless conducts.
All right, that's Amjadi.
Your Honor, I believe this is with the Crimes Against Children unit. I did notify them that this hearing was upcoming today, but I don't think I see anybody from the unit, so I will step in. I understand, Your Honor, that our office did reach out to the victim's grandmother in this case, but there was no response to our office's call. Out of an abundance of caution, Your Honor, the state respectfully requests a bond of $20,000 on count 1, $10,000 on count 2, and $7,500 on each of the subsequent counts of reckless conduct.
All right.
Total of $45,000. And no contact with the victim children in this case, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Rosenhoover, the incident location, so where are the children living? Are they living at that same incident location?
No, Your Honor. That incident location was Mr. King's prior address. It's a duplex with his parents. They are with their grandmother in Richmond, I believe.
Okay, all right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact. Also have Michaela White. No further contact with 2 minor children, initials KK for both of them. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, except for court, lawyer, work, medical. And sir, if you work, you have to give us the name of your employer, a schedule, and the location you'll be working and proof of that employment. All right, you need to give it to Ms. Rosenhoover. She can give it to the state, and also let the ankle monitoring company know too. So if you have to interview for a job, you can include that. All right, with no further contact with those 2 children. So I'll go with a 15, 10, 3, and 3. 15, 10, 3, and 3. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Thank you, Judge. And I believe that concludes my business, if I may be excused.
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you from after this morning.
Chat real quick before you go.
You want Ms. Rosenhoover too?
Oh, I thought that was Miss Amjadi who said she was sleeping.
Oh, no, it's Miss Ray.
I'm so sorry.
You're all right.
Miss Bray, you can't get rid of me so easily.
Good try, Miss Bray. Thank you, Ms. Rosenhoover. Have a good weekend. Melvin Bernard Pugh. All right, there we go. 22 CP 209239. Miss, oh, there she is. Okay. Let's see, 201 days without indictment. Got theft by shoplifting, excuse me, felony and possession of drug-related objects. As of August 30th, there is a $8,000 good bond. Wow.
In regards to Mr. Pugh, 45 prior arrests. at least 7 misdemeanors. A couple of those are for theft by shoplifting. Currently has an open case for 21 CP 201741 for theft by shoplifting, criminal trespass, drug-related objects. 2012 conviction for theft by taking. He has a couple of FTAs. There's a whole out of Atlanta. And then there's 5 other FTAs, 15, 16, 16, 17, and 18. Nothing further.
Sarfarazzi, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pugh has been accepted into the Hope House. It's a living and treatment facility. I sent Mr. Johnny and you his acceptance letter if you'd like to review that. Your Honor, we're asking if you could send him directly to this program so he can get treatment. He's been on the wait list for a while and they've been holding his spot. It's been a while to get another hearing so he could get into the program. And so we're just asking that you UJR him to this program, Your Honor.
Ms. Johnny.
Your Honor, that does sound like a reasonable request. It would hopefully address some of the underlying issues here. If I could just request that he be placed on an ankle monitor before being UJR'd to the program.
Okay, so Ms. Sarfarazzi, what I'll do is I'm going to put a number just in case something happens and the program falls through, so he'll still have an opportunity to get out, okay?
Thank you,
So-
Your Honor. I appreciate that.
All right, so we'll do UJR to the to the, what's the name of the program we need to put?
Hope House?
Hope House.
And Ms. Young, don't we need to put like a specific person? I think Mr. Douglas said it has to be a specific person they're released to.
Do they, if they have a name, but it needs to be a specific person or the program.
Okay, so we'll do UJR to that. And if by chance something happens and that kind of goes afoul, we'll put $4,000 on count 1 and $250 on count 2. No
And you
drug. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I would also ask if Hope House will need to the jail will need to take him to Hope House. So when the bed is available, I can make that transport order for you, Your Honor, and that could have the information of the direct person and contact information of people in the Hope House.
Okay, you put in there. Perfect. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Ankle monitor paid for by the Orca Project with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, medical, and the program at Hope House. Stay away from 2750 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway and stay away from all Dollar General stores. You got 4,000 on count 1, 250 on count 2. If not, release the UJR to the Hope House. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Judge Manning,
Uh-huh.
7 North Booth 2. Can we do him next to Tobias Jackson? He just walked back in.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Well, let's see. What number is that? I'm
Your
trying
Honor,
to-
that's position 9.
9. Okay, hold on. But isn't that one, was that one removed?
I don't
Oh, Tobias Jackson, I got it. Is
think
Mr.
it
Joe
was.
here?
Does not look like Mr. Cho is here.
Yeah, Mr. Cho's not here. He's got a $5,000 good bond. You just want to reset? Oh, we can't hear you, sir. You're on mute. What do y'all want to do? It's a criminal damage to property.
Oh, he can't get a UJR?
because he's an APD repeat offender, the state can't consent to that.
Oh, well.
Your Honor, I can reach out to Mr. Cho and just see.
Okay, we'll let her reach out to Mr. Cho and then I think he's angry.
Yeah, I think he is.
So, yeah, I mean, we can reset it till Tuesday, I guess, maybe. Is that possible? I mean, Mr. Cho, he must be tied up in court because he's usually on time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
No,
I don't
here
mind handling it,
here
but it
comes-
just
wait, he had one more thing. He had one more thing to come back and say to us. He is telling you off. All right. Okay. All right.
I
have a
wouldn't-
seat, sir. You got to listen. Have a seat. Have it.
Yeah, I think there's an MH issue because I know that name.
Right. Yeah, I am too.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
stand by, sir. Miss
Uh, Your Honor,
Sir.
He can't. He'll be back. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Your Honor, I just spoke with Mr. Cho. He's logging in now.
Okay, hold on, sir. He's coming.
Okay, so until Mr. Cho gets on, I got
Mr.
one
Cho.
client with 2 cases. He's number 1 and 2 on your calendar.
Okay.
Delando McCrary.
I got you.
We're
All
not
right.
gonna do you, Bray. You gotta wait to the end.
Ah, girl, I'm only paid parking up until 5:30. That's why I gotta get to him. Wait, I got to go.
All right, we'll do position 1 and 2.
Thank you.
All right. So Lucy, as soon as Cho gets on here, we'll handle his case.
Right.
22 CP 207751 Delando McCrary. Wave your hand, sir.
He's there in 6 out.
260 days without indictment as of 8/11. There is a $70,000 good bond, armed robbery, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, ag assault, and possession of firearm during a felony. Position 2, 21 CP 203468, 260 days without indictment. Delando McCrary, theft by receiving stolen property, possession of firearm during the by a convicted felon, driving on suspended or revoked license, possession of drug-related objects, possession of marijuana less announced, acquiring a license plate for the purpose of concealing identification of a motor vehicle. Hold on a second.
And I think that's a 5,500 split bond on that case.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a $5,500 split bond with 1, 2, 3 charges UJR. Pre-trial.
Judge, in regards to Mr. McCrary, 14 prior arrests, old capital CWAC in 93, charge associated with CWAC in 2013, 2 misdemeanor convictions, 2012 FTA. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Miss Bray.
Okay, Your Honor, Mr. McCrary is 47 years old, lifelong resident of Georgia. All of his family resides here. The address pretrial has, if it's the 1528 Mosley Place, that is the correct address, Your Honor. He did obtain his GED. He also has his master barber license from Middle Georgia Tech. He has a brother here, siblings here. If he is released, he does have a job that he can return to. It's Tanner Moving Company. Taking into account that it's 260 days, we did his prelim back on August 29th, Your Honor, and the case hasn't been indicted. I am asking for a substantial reduction on the first case. I'm asking for 10, 5, 5, and 5. What is that?
All right, what about second case?
Second case, well, we can't do JR the gun.
But
I don't
before,
know, just make it half of whatever the 5,500 is. Just make it half.
I guess somebody came off of, because before it shows Atlantic Bonding Company paid that, but
Right, they had, but
came off of it.
sometimes when you pick up another case, they'll come off.
All right. I'm Jotty.
Your Honor, given the defendant's criminal history, the nature of the charges alleged, furthermore, the fact that the court did find on August 29th of 2022 that bond was fair and reasonable, the state's position is that bond on both of these cases is fair and reasonable, and we respectfully request that the court keep them as they are.
All right, position 1. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Ankle monitor paid for by the company through the Orca project with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, medical, job. Proof of employment, sir, schedule, the location you'll be working. And you have to let the ankle monitor company know and Miss Bray so that she can let the DA know. If not, they'll revoke your bond. Stay away from Larry's Quick Stop at 2717 Sylvan Road. And previously in August, there was a hold. So if there's a hold on you, sir, I'm not sure if it's still there. You'll have 48 hours once you're released from that. It was on there before. So I don't know if something comes up, Ms. Bray. Woo, Ms. Bray, you know I would.
I'm sorry, I'm still here. Hold on. I was
Okay.
looking to see if there was a hold. I'm like,
Well, I put it on in August. So if it hadn't went away, he has 48 hours to have the ankle monitor placed
Okay.
on your ankle. It was on there before, sir. So if it's still out there or something pops up, excuse me, you have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. Okay. So I got 10, 10, 15, and 10. 10, 10, 15, and 10. On the second position. Got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. That ankle monitor is paid for by the county through ORCA projects. Driving, no driving without a valid license. Stay away from State Farm Auto Insurance Company in either, offices. Let's see. So 1,000 on count 1, 2,000 on count 2. I'll keep it the same on count 3, 4, and 5, and $250 on count 6. 1,000, 2,000, UJR, 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 and 250. Same thing, sir. You got that ankle monitor paid for by the county, 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical. If it's employment, you got to get proof of employment, name of your employer, the schedule, and the exact location you're working. Supply it to Ms. Bray and to the ankle monitoring company. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Okay, so that first case, it was 45, because math isn't our strong point. It was 45, right?
I didn't even do the math. I just wrote the numbers down, Ms. Bray. You know me. The math is a you problem. 10, 10, 5, and 10. Yep, but
What's
Yep,
35?
35.
no, I'm sorry, 10, 10, 15, and 10. So 45, you're right. 10, 10, 15,
okay.
10.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Bray.
Then that's
I hear
45.
I hear that tow truck pulling up.
Trying to be funny, but it might be out there. I got to go. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye, Ms. Bray. Have a good
Take care,
weekend.
Ms. Bray.
All right.
Rodney Perkins. All right. Ms. Collins, it's position 13, 22, CP 208147, Rodney Perkins. 245 days down indictment. There's a $5,000 good bond as of, excuse me, guys, I've been talking all day. September the 1st on theft by receiving stolen property felony. Pre-trial.
Judge, in regards to Mr. Perkins, extensive criminal history, 42 prior arrests, 2 FTAs, at least 12 felonies. He's currently still on probation for robbery, aggravated assault, sentenced in 2014, 15 years. Convictions is another robbery, burglary, entering, theft by receiving, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 7 of those, couple of financial transaction card frauds, and a couple of controlled substances. And 8 arrests for probation, 8 arrests for misdemeanor convictions, and 2 arrests for probation violation, nothing further.
Ms. Collins, can you confirm his address?
Yes, Your Honor, his address should be the address on file, which should be 875 Rodney Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30311. He lives there with his uncle. I have been in contact with his uncle. That is his address.
Okay, go ahead with your argument.
Your Honor, he is 55, well, actually 56 years old because he turned 56 while incarcerated. He has been incarcerated now for over 245 days. We did have a preliminary hearing back in September. However, his case is still unindicted, Your Honor. He is unable to afford the bond. I have been in constant contact with his uncle and they are not able to afford the bond, Your Honor. And so we would ask, honestly, if you would consider a UJR. We have already tried the bail project. They are unable to pay the bond. And so, Your Honor, that is the reason why we are requesting the UJR. The change in circumstances would be his lack of financial resources. He was previously working as a forklift operator at the Great Americans Cookie Factory. Prior to his arrest, he was at that position for 3 years, but he's been here now for over 200 days. And so he hasn't been able to earn any income to put towards his bond. Additionally, we would also note the amount of time that he has been without incarceration. It's a theft by receiving. I doubt that this is high on the indictment list. And I don't think that we'll have an expected date of indictment after today. And so, Your Honor, that is another reason why we would ask for the UJR. He is a lifelong resident of Georgia, specifically Fulton County. He does have the good address. He's a father. He has 4 children, 1 adult, 3 minors. He's a high school graduate, graduated from Mays High School. Your Honor, there is history, but he does have ties to Georgia. He has been sitting for over 200 days now. Your Honor, this is a nonviolent offense. And so, Your Honor, I would ask if you would consider a UJR. He has already been ordered to be on an ankle monitor. And so there is that already in place. I don't think there's any information on him that he's tried to contact this victim, because I don't think that he knows this person personally or the police officers that arrested him. And so that would be our request today, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor, the state was going to consent to reducing it $2,500, but it looks like the court already did that a few months ago. I guess the state would agree to reducing the bond amount $1,000 from the current $5,000 bond amount, Your Honor.
Reduce it down to 1,000 or?
Down by 1,000, Your Honor.
Let's see, it was 5,000 in July and 5,000 in September.
3,500, Your Honor.
All right. 2,500, Miss Collins. We'll keep her to her first number. $2,500 good bond. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. No further contact with Mark Humphrey. Ms. Young, this is on the 7/12 bond order. No further contact with Mark Humphrey. Ankle monitor paid for by the county with that 24-hour curfew, except for medical, court appearances, attorney visits, employment, sir, as long as you provide proof of employment, name of employer, a schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Sir, please provide that to the ankle monitoring company and to Ms. Collins. Best of luck to you, sir. It's 2,500. You can leave the booth.
That concludes my business, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Did Mr. Cho show up? Mr. Cho.
Your Honor, that was 2,500, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So you're waiving his presence, right, Mr. Cho? He may come back in there. We never know. 22 CP 211293, Tobias Jackson, 124 days without indictment. He's got a $5,000 good bond as of August the 9th on criminal damage to property, second degree. Free. Raw.
In regards to Mr. Jackson, extensive arrest history, 41 prior arrests, felonies, at least 3 or 4, forgeries and drugs, cocaine with the intent. On misdemeanor probation currently for simple battery on a peace officer, criminal trespass, sentence March of this year for 12 months. Nothing further.
Mr. Cho.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize for the delay.
That's okay.
Mr. Jackson's going to waive presence today. We had court the other day. We waived probable cause. Officer, I did advise Mr. Jackson that the officer may not appear, and he does not want to leave the jail. I have called his aunt several times to see if we can get a mailing address. I haven't gotten a response back yet, but long and short, Your Honor, we have a plan of action. He is trying to get into a Better Way ministry, and we have spoken with someone at the jail who is facilitating that for him as well. He'd like to be in a structured program with housing so that he does not fall back into this cycle again. So, Judge, I would ask the court to consider a modification to the bond to a UJR upon entry and completion or entry into a program, or I can ask that this be scheduled when we have the actual program.
So you said he does not want to leave the jail?
Yes, to be candid with the court, that's correct.
Okay, so is he going to get some inmates treatment?
Yes, I'd focus more on
Yeah.
residency and a Better Way, but if there, if there is a requirement for further, that we would certainly do
Well, if
that.
there's an eval that you need, Mr. Cho, just send me that order. Go ahead, Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor, the state's position is that bond is previously set as fair and reasonable.
So a Better Way Ministry is the name of the program, Mr. Cho?
Yes, but no confirmation as of yet.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to word this so that we could do a UJR to a program, but I think, Ms. Young, I think we have to put the name of a program.
Okay, Judge,
Should
I
we-
will file it once we have a date certain, if that's okay with the court.
Yeah, you got any ideas, Ms. Amjadi? Is that okay if he sends a modified order?
Yes, Your Honor, he's welcome to send that to me and.
Okay, so you can send
Um,
that to her, so Ms. Young, we'll do it, we'll keep it like, they'll make it $3,000 good bond, UJR to a program. Mr. Cho will submit an amended order upon Mr. Jackson's acceptance into that program. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 111 Cone Street Northwest, Holiday Inn Express. So he needs to stay away from all Holiday Inn Express locations. Thank you, Mr. Cho.
Your Honor, I believe that concludes my business.
Yeah, I think that's all you got, Mr. Cho.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
All right, Tiffany Hendricks. All right, so it's position 21, Ms. Correa, 22 CP 208708. Tiffany Hendricks, 222 days, no indictment. Burglary in the second degree, $10,000 good bond as of August the 2nd. Free. Wow.
Judge, in regards to Tiffany Hendricks, AKA Randall Hendricks, 75 prior arrests, histories of criminal trespass, at least 19 misdemeanors, 6 arrests for probation violations, 4 arrests for FTAs, prior burglary, sentenced in 2020, 15 years. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Correa.
Your Honor, I'll be appearing for Ms. Correa.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tessier.
No problem, Your Honor. Mr. Hendricks is 46 years old. He's been in Georgia for the last 5 years. Currently works as a landscaper. He's been doing that for the last 3 years. Has went up to the 12th grade, Your Honor. Your Honor, when I spoke to Ms. Correa about him, she had nothing but nice things to say about him. Said he's a very respectful man, very pleasant to speak with. He's been very respectful. He has been accepted into the We Are Living Proof program. So, Your Honor, if you're not inclined to provide a UJR into the program, we beg that you at least place the bond at no more than $5,000, so that way we can try to get him to the Bell Project so he does not lose his spot in the much needed program.
Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor, Tiffany Hendricks is an APD repeat offender. Bond has previously been set at $10,000. Given the criminal history, the state's position is that bond is previously set is fair and reasonable.
So he's been in there 222 days without any indictment. All right, let's see.
Also, Judge, if I may,
Yes, sir.
I believe there are some MH issues that really need to be addressed, and that are the reasons that are affecting the criminal history here. And this
Mhm.
program would definitely help to resolve this issue. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 824 Juniper Street Northeast. That's the Atlanta Thai Kitchen and Bar. Stay out of Midtown Atlanta. Sorry, I'm sure you know where Midtown is. Must provide an address upon release. You have to give it to the jail, to your lawyer. They can supply it to the state. It'll need to be filed with the clerk of court. I think I said no drugs, no weapons. I got an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew except for work, medical, attorney visits, and inmates treatment. And if you get into the We Are Living Proof program to attend any functions, anything required of that program. $5,000 good bond, sir. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Tessier. All right, Mauricio Wilkins, Mr. Tessier. Mr. Wilkins, there you go. 22 CP 211057, 132 days without indictment, criminal damage to property in the second degree. There is a $5,000 good bond as of August the 1st. Wow.
I'm trying to find it. There it is. Mauricio, number 5, 9 prior arrests. Took a first offender on theft by receiving stolen property and reckless driving, 1 arrest for probation violation. At the time of his arrest, he was on misdemeanor probation for simple assault, family violence, sentence 10/26/21 for 12 months. Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Tessier, I know there was something here about maybe MH issues that were mentioned previously. So go ahead with your bond argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Wilkins does have a good address at 825 Bolton Road Place. That is the incident location. However, I literally spoke to his mother, Miss Rachel Wilkins, about 10 minutes ago. She said that they would like for him to return home. The plan is for him to go seek MH counseling once he is released, Your Honor. The home in question is his grandparents' home. I also spoke to his cousin about 10 minutes ago as well. Everybody wants him to come home. He's 24 years old, lifelong resident of Georgia. He does have a job as a cook and doing cleanup at a restaurant that is waiting for him when he is released. He's got a 12th grade education, Your Honor. And from what I understand, he does not have 2 or more failures to appear in the last 10 years and does not have 2 or more prior felony convictions. According to the pretrial report, does not have 2 or more violent criminal history convictions in the last 10 years. We do have a plan for him in place when he is released. He's been incarcerated 132 days, no indictment, Your Honor. So we're just asking that you take off maybe $2,000 off the bond so we could get him into the bail project.
All right. Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor, I was gonna recommend 3,500, so there's only a difference of $500 between the defense's request and my own. I will defer to the court and request that the no further violent contact provision from the last bond order remain in place.
So you want it to be, okay, no further violent contact, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And here it said must seek mental MH counseling once released. No further violent contact with Rachel Wilkins. Sir, this is your mother. Be good to your mother. Don't destroy anything in her house. Officer, I can't let you stay on here if you're driving. I know you got a job to do, but you're not going to get mad at me for wrecking when you pull over. But don't just turn your camera off. When you pull over, you can get back on. All right. So I'll make it a $3,000 good bond. I said no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and just be good to your mother, sir. Best of luck to you. You can leave the booth.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Is that it for you, Mr. Tester? You got a couple more?
I'm covering Ms. Correa's other one and Mr. Rashid Morel's other one as well.
All right. All right, Ms. Pinto. We got Jeremy Eden. Mr. Eden? Wave your hand. There you go. 22 CP 211200. Jeremy Eden. 127 days without indictment. There's a $10,000 good bond from, looks like first appearance, and a different judge on robbery. Pre-trial.
Judge, in regards to Mr. 24 prior arrests in Missouri, has an open case for an assault out of Missouri from 2021, 3 misdemeanor convictions, and a felony theft. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Pinto.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Eden is currently residentially challenged. He does plan on going to the Atlanta Baptist Mission if released from jail. That is where he would receive his mail. It's at 316 Peters Street Southwest. He's not currently working. He does receive disability due to an incident in which he was shot 8 times when he was living in Missouri. He does not have biological family in Georgia, but he does have family friends here who are ties to this community. He did some college at St. Louis Community College. He has, only the 1 felony conviction that was stated by pretrial. He has been incarcerated for 127 days. He did get that $10,000 bond at first appearance and of course has not been able to pay it. We are asking the court to reduce his bond down to $5,000 so that we can try to utilize the bail project.
All right. What says the state?
Your Honor, although Mr. Eden only has 2 arrest cycles in Georgia since 2021, he does have 24 arrest cycles out of Missouri in the St. Louis area. These 24 arrest cycles took place over the course of 11 years from 2009 to 2021. With that criminal history in mind and considering the nature of the allegations here, Your Honor, the state's position is that bond as previously set at $10,000 is fair and reasonable for Mr. Eden. Thank you.
Ms. Pinto, do you have a place that he's actually going to be living, not just getting mail?
He plans on going to the Atlanta Baptist Mission, Judge.
Okay. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 55 Alabama Street. Stay away from all express pharmacies. No further contact with Gregory Mitchell. Can have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, medical. Anything else, Ms. Pinto?
Job interviews, Judge.
Okay, employment and job interviews. So, sir, as long as you supply the proof of employment, name of your employer, a schedule, and the exact location you'll be working, you have to supply that to Ms. Pinto, who in turn will supply that to the state. And you have to let the ankle monitoring company know. If not, sir, they'll revoke your bond because you're violating your bond conditions. So make sure you supply all that. $7,500 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. I think that's all you have, right, Ms. Pinto? Oh, no, you got one more.
Yes.
Right. Quentin McCrary. The other Mr. McCrary, thank you, sir. 22-CP-210413. Quentin Lamar McCrary. 112 days without indictment. There is a $19,000 split bond. Do we have anybody here from the gang, or are they leaving it to you, Ms. Amjadi?
Your Honor, Ms. Jensen did tell me that she was planning to be here for this matter.
All right, let's see. Okay, so we'll go to the next one, and maybe you can reach out to Ms. Chan.
And she did tell me she was going to be here, Your Honor, so.
Okay, we'll let you reach out. How about Brian Wooten? We'll come back to that one, Ms. Pinto. Mr. Wooten? Oh, there you are. Okay. Mr. Tessier, it's 22-CP-211292. Brian Wooten. 125 days without indictment. There is a $15,000 good bond as of August the 8th. Sorry about my voice, guys.
We waive sounding, Your Honor, on criminal history.
Okay. VGCSA, possession of Schedule 1 or 2. MDMA, possession with intent to distribute. Possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Free. Raw.
Mr. Tessier, just for, I never announced him, so you,
Thank you.
just for future reference. 08 misdemeanor CWAC judge, 2 arrests for probation violation, 03, 04, 08 sale of marijuana, open case for firearm by a convicted felon.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Tessier.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wooten's 45 years old, lifelong resident, born and raised here in Georgia. His entire family lives here. He does have 2 adult children. He's got 2 young children and 1 grandchild. Has completed his GED. He works for Northeastern Charter Bus Company, where he cleans charter buses, and is supposed to be allowed to return back to work, Your Honor. From my understanding from the pretrial report, he doesn't have 2 or more failures to appear within the last 10 years, doesn't have 3 or more violations of probation or parole within the last 10 years, and has not been convicted for 2 or more violent offenses within the last 10 years. I do believe that satisfies the ALA factors, Your Honor. We are going to be requesting a reduction of $5,000 in bond, making total bond amount $10,000, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor. Your Honor, I apologize. I was trying to reach out to ADA Jansen, so.
I'm sorry, it's Brian
I
Wooten.
found my notes
Okay.
for Mr. Wooten. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wooten is an APD repeat offender. He's had 23 arrest cycles since 1994, which, while not as lengthy as some criminal histories that we see, is still fairly substantial. For that reason, Your Honor, the state's position is that bond as previously said is fair and reasonable.
All right, so thank you. So we got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 3221 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. We'll do 3,000 on each count. That's a $9,000 good bond. Best of
Thank
luck
you
to
very
you.
much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. You can lead the booth. Sorry, guys. Been talking too much. How about Sire Irving, Mr. Irving? Oh, okay. Well, hold on a second. We got Miss Jansen here.
I do. Sorry,
I think
Judge.
they may-
I'm so sorry. I thought it was at 6.
No, well,
I was sitting here waiting to get on, and so sorry.
that's okay. Waiting on me, right?
No, I was waiting, thinking, oh, I wish I could get on now, and all that time you were waiting for me, so sorry.
So I have a question because on here before we call this, there's already second chance bail bonding posted at $19,000. So the ones that were assigned have already been given a bond and bonded out on those. Is that right, Miss Pinto?
Yes, Judge, he paid a $19,000 bond and then account was added and he
Oh,
was
no, sit
rearrested.
down. Sorry. So account was added. That's the only bond we're addressing, right? The gang charge.
Right.
All right, good thing. I wanted to make sure they hadn't came off of it. All right. It's, excuse me, it's 1422 CP 210413. He's made bond on possession of marijuana, intent to distribute, possession of firearm during the commission of felony, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, possession of drug related objects. He's already posted that $19,000 bond through second chance bail bondings. He's been in 112 days without indictment. The only charge we're addressing today is unlawful for a person employed by, associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal street gang activity. Rob.
Judge, is this Mr. McCrary?
This is Quentin McCrary, position 14.
Okay, 6 prior arrests, open case. 22 CR 00396 G 61G for reckless conduct, 3 counts. I'm currently on probation for aggravated assault, sentence in 2014, 15-year sentence, 7 confinement, 8 probation, nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Pinto.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. McCrary was originally arrested in July. As stated, he paid the bond and then the count was added and he was arrested again. He has been no bonded since August 18th of 2022, which is 112 days. If released, he would live at an address on Xells, it's XELLS Avenue in Atlanta. That's where he lives with his mother. He also has 2 children who his mother is currently caring for, both aged 10. And then he has another child who's 9 years old that lives with the child's mother. So he has 3 kids he's providing for. For work, he has his own LLC called Stop Sneakers. He basically buys rare collectible sneakers and sells them, kind of. The only word I can think of it is like a sneaker broker. He's doing that for about 1.5 years. Prior to that, he worked at a warehouse through a temp service, and then also at a Chili's as a line cook, which he did for about 3 years total, Judge. So he does have strong ties to the community. He has a strong employment history. He finished his 11th grade at Washington High School, and he's working on getting his GED. He signed up for the program at the jail, and he's received the practice book and has started doing that, but they haven't put him in classes yet. He also signed up for the pre-stabilization class and new beginnings class as well. So he's taking whatever opportunities are available to him at the jail. He is having serious back issues, sleeping on a boat in the overcrowded jail. He does have a bone disease, so it's certainly not helping that in any way. As stated, he has already paid $19,000 on this case, Judge. So I'm asking for a $10,000 bond or lower on the new charge. And so that he may, return to his family and assist in his defense.
All right, Ms. Jansen.
Yes, Judge, this is Sire Irving, right?
This is Quentin McCrary.
Okay.
You got 2. This Quentin McCrary. You need me to do the case number again? It's position 14.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I apologize. I was
It's
having a
okay.
little bit of audio. Judge, the state's concern is the gang count, obviously, that has now been added. That's the only thing that's in front of the court. When the case is elevated by an enhancement statute such as the gang count, that actually changes the nature of the underlying charge to the point where we're concerned about his ties to the community being the gang, as well as the safety of the community, propensity to commit further felonies because of the pressure that he faces from his loyalty to the gang. If he were not a documented member, then we wouldn't have added these charges, the extra warrant. After further investigation, the state would ask for a $500,000 bond on this extra count. Thank you. And no contact with any known gang members under 1615 for subsection L.
All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replica of weapons. Stay away from 30 Marietta Street Southwest. No further contact with any gang members, gang associates, anything like that of Roland 60s Neighborhood Crip. That's the one, right, Ms. Jansen? That's what I
Yes.
could figure out through there.
Yes, Judge.
All right. You have an ankle monitor paid for by that worker project. That's with 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, or medical.
Could we add a work exception to that, Judge?
Jansen. Work, sir. If you get released from work, you have to provide proof of employment, the name of that employment, the name of the employer, a schedule, and a location. If you do not supply that, you have to supply that to your attorney who supplies it to the state, and you have to supply that to the ankle monitoring company. Now, what that means is you get up, you get in your car, you go straight to work, legal work, like working at McDonald's, working at Chick-fil-A, something like that, all right, where there is a location where you work. And you have to provide a schedule. You have to do that every single week if your schedule comes up every week, okay? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. But at ankle monitor, there'll be a 24-hour curfew. That means you don't do anything, sir. I'll allow you to veer off about a mile from your trip to work to get home to fill up with gas. $350,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir.
Judge, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. All right, now we got Sire Irving. Mr. Irving? Thank you. You can leave, Mr. McCrary. Leave the booth. Have a good evening. Thank you, sir. All right, Solving Irving, it's position 6, pretrial 22 CP 211185. 128 days without indictment. Got theft by receiving, and it's a $3,000 split bond so far. So you got theft by receiving stolen property felony, escape felony, unlawful for a person employed by associated with criminal street gang to conduct or participate in criminal street gang activity. Unlawful for a person to acquire, maintain through criminal gang activity or proceeds derived from such activity. Unlawful for a person to commit offenses with the intent to obtain or earn status in a criminal street gang. Willful obstruction of law enforcement officer, pedestrian and roadway, and misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Wow.
Judge, in regards to Mr. Sire Irving, 7 prior arrests and convictions for criminal street gang activity, theft by receiving stolen property, on probation for that, 20 SC 175703. 3 years confinement, 12 years probation. Another probation, street gang activity, theft by receiving stolen property, obstruction, sentence 12-21, 19 SC 164765 for 15 years probation. Nothing further.
All right. Let's see. Oh, there you go, sir. Ms. Solomon, go ahead.
Yes, Judge. I just wanted to make clear the $3,000 split bond, that's only on the misdemeanors alleged.
Right. It's just a
all the other
misdemeanor.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
Judge. All the other
I get it.
charges don't have any bond. He's been in for 128 days, so he is entitled at this point. He is 22 years old as of last Sunday. He lives at 800 West Marietta Street, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30318. He lives with his sister, Carrington Irving, He is originally from California, but the whole family moved down here to Georgia in 2012. So for half of his life, he's been living here and has significant connections to the community just through his family. He has a GED. He has a job waiting for him at Labor Staffing, which is a temp agency, and he can go back to that immediately. He was also working housekeeping at Marriott, so he is employable. Judge, we're asking for a $10,000 total bond on everything. The reason that we're asking for that bond is that there are some issues with the case that I have seen just reading the warrants. There's various legal issues that the warrants present. I know this is not a prelim, however, I am mentioning that in mitigation in regards to bond. And the fact that he has significant connections to the community, and the fact that though these charges, the alleged charges involve alleged gang activity, it is only property crime that is alleged of a single vehicle, Judge.
Okay, and there's, by the way, just so you know, there are 1, 2, 3 warrants out there for violation of probation.
Yes, Judge.
Let's see, well, at least one from violation of probation, the one assigned to Judge Eaton. That was filed on August the 29th. So I'm assuming that hasn't been addressed. So you understand he won't be going anywhere. Okay,
I know, Judge.
go ahead, Ms. Jansen.
Judge, as the court just said, oh, he disappeared for a minute.
No,
Okay.
no, I went blurry, so sorry.
Judge, as the court just stated, and I will restate, there is a probation warrant for him because he is already on probation, first offender, for the Gang Act and for the same offenses, which we are doing a motion to revoke. It's 15 years. The state judge, he went out and did it again. That shows you exactly the propensity to commit more felonies and the same felonies. It also shows you how strong his ties are to the community of gang members, his gang members, and his loyalty and his inability, his decision not to stop, even when given first offender by one of our Superior Court judges. The state is concerned about safety of community. Property crimes are people crimes. The property belongs to people. It's done in groups that gang up on people and their property. We know this. We have issues with intimidation of witnesses in a case of this nature. For all of these reasons, Judge, the state is asking for a $1 million bond. Even though I know that there are probation warrants there, Judge, we're looking at this case by itself. That is why the state is asking, as I stated, as a $1 million bond, and to be broken down to a total of $1 million. And again, asking for no contact with any known gang members or associates or affiliates under 1615-4 subsection L, as is mandated by the statute. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, we got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no further contact with Derica Harris, no contact with any gangs, any associates or affiliates with any gangs, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Sorry, lost my track. Stay away from 800 West Marietta Street, 788 West Marietta Street, and 830 West Marietta Street. No further contact with anyone in the Fast Life group. No further contact with, I think this would be a possible co-defendant here, Daemond Harris. And have an ankle monitor paid for by the county through the Orca project with a 24-hour curfew for court, lawyer, medical. So we're addressing theft by receiving stolen property, $10,000, felony escape, $75,000. Unlawful 0.3 is the first gang, $400,000. Number 4, count 4, $400,000. Count 5, $400,000. And then 6, 7, and 8 are all misdemeanors at $1,000 apiece. $10,000, $75,000, $400,000, $400,000, $400,000, 1, 1, and 1 as previously. Sir, you'll have, if there's a hold and you get out and they don't revoke your, or they revoke your probation and you get out and you're able to make that significant bond, you'll have 48 hours to have that ankle monitor placed on your ankle. If you do not, that's a violation of your bond. And also, forgot this, no social media. I'm going to add that to the other one too, no social media. That means, sir, you're not getting out. You're not going home. You are going to be there no matter what this bond is. Even if it was $1, you'd still be there. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
Judge, that completes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good evening. I think that's it for you too, right, Ms. Jansen?
I think so.
All right, have a good evening. Y'all have a good weekend.
Oh, yes, you too. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so I've got I've got 2 left, right? Why is there 3 people in here?
Judge, the 5 North Booth 2 is Billy Balderas. Are we resetting that case?
Oh, yes. Sir, we're gonna well, I guess not. It's indicted, right? How about set it out 2 weeks? That should give you guys time, right, Ms. Amjadi, to find out what's going on. So, Mr. Balderas, your case has been indicted. So I'm not going to address bond, which means you'll go in front of whichever courtroom this is assigned to, but they're having trouble finding the actual indictment. So that's why we keep bringing you back. So your bond stands as it is. And I think it is, says bond as it is. You got a $70,000 good bond, so it'll stand at that. Thank you, sir. You can leave the booth. I'm sure Ms. Collins will get in touch with you. All right, let's see. Kayon Giles. Thank you, sir. 128 days without indictment. 22 CP 211179. Kaylon Giles. Robbery by sudden snatching, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of firearm or a knife during the commission or attempt to commit certain felonies, giving a false name, address, date of birth to a law enforcement officer. There is a $40,000 good bond as of, August the 4th. Rob.
Judge, 6 prior arrests in regards to Mr. Giles. 2019 theft by receiving stolen property, criminal damage to property, currently on probation for criminal use of an altered ID, firearm by a first offender, sentence in 2021 for 10 years, nothing further.
All right, Mr. Cazzoli, go ahead.
Good evening, Your Honor. Thank you for waiting for me. I was on the way back from the jail. Mr. Giles is 23 years old. He has a good address at 746 Mayland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, 30310, where he lives with his father. He's been living there for the last 5 years. He's a lifelong Atlanta resident. Along with his dad, he has his mother, his grandmother, his 10-month-old child, and his aunt. My apologies. The child is now over a year old. He was 10 months when he was incarcerated, and he still has a child on the way, I believe, Your Honor. He was previously working at Sky Cylinder, which is a warehouse doing loading. He'd been doing that for the last 2 years. Your Honor, I heard some relatively limited history, only 6 cycles, only a couple convictions, I believe. Your Honor, his bond is currently set at $40,000. We're asking for that bond to be reduced by half to $20,000. He would still not be able to afford that, Your Honor. But we just want to we want that number to be moving in a direction that he would be able to afford. As far as I know, Your Honor, based on the warrant and he's not at a preliminary hearing yet, but based on the warrant, the firearm alleged to have been there is not alleged to have been used in the activity, Your Honor. So we are asking for that context to be included as well, and for his bond not to exceed $20,000.
All right, Ms. Amjadi.
Your Honor, even though there are only 8 arrest cycles, they did all occur within the last 6 years since 2016. Given the defendant's criminal history and the nature of the allegations here, the defendant is a danger to the community, and the state respectfully requests that bond remain as previously set, figure which is fair and reasonable.
All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew except for court, lawyer, or medical. Are you wanting, he lives in Atlanta. What does his job prospects look like now?
Your Honor, I've not been in contact with anybody he's working with. Mr. Giles, do you know if you still have your job, sir? If you were to be released? You're not sure? Okay.
Okay, so and if it's a job, just, shoot me an amended order for a job. That's a 24-hour curfew, sir, means you can't leave your house. No further contact with Charlottine, CHARLOTTINE Banks, BANKS. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from all MARTA stations, all MARTA property, and no further contact with your co-defendant, Marcus Brooks. That means all property, sir. If you're walking by a bus stop on the side of the road, you can't even sit down on that bench and tie your shoe. You have to walk past that, sit down on a curb somewhere and tie your shoe. All right. Somebody's wearing a MARTA t-shirt. That's MARTA property. Don't go around them. 5,000, 12,000, 12,000, 2,000, 5,000, 12,000, 12,000, 2,000. Good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can lay the boots. All right, so I think that's it for you, right, Mr. Gazzoli? I think Mr. Tessier's handing the last one.
I think so, Your Honor. I was not here for your announcement. I was representing Ms. Cole's clients. To my understanding, I think one of them was indicted and the other two received bonds yesterday. So I assume they were not brought over.
Yes, sir. That's it. I think you handled those. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend. All right, Mr. Tessier. So now we got Mr. Kevion Glenn. Am I right? All right, Mr. Glenn. I'm sorry about my voice. 291 days without indictment. We got 22 CP 206837. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, armed robbery, aggravated assault with intent to rob, aggravated assault with intent to rob, aggravated assault with intent to rob. Right now, there is a $170,000 good bond. Wow.
Judge, which defendant?
Kevion Glenn. Bostic, I think you just want me to sing to you like I did Miss Jackson today, but my singing voice is messed up.
Oh, please don't.
Go ahead, pre-trial.
Oh, there it is, number 2. Judge, in regards to Mr. Glenn, 16 prior arrests, 1 misdemeanor conviction, 1 FTA 2018, 3 arrests for probation violation, 2019 entering auto, 2 counts, and 2019 crossing guard lines. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Tessier.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, side note, I'd like to hear that song one of these days.
Thank you. Bostic, don't know good music.
For Mr. Glenn, show here that he's 22 years old, Your Honor. Lifelong resident, born and raised in Georgia. We do have a good address for him at 601. I can't read the handwriting. I believe it's the Navarre Drive in Stone Mountain, Georgia. He does have his GED, Your Honor. He does not have his parents anymore, unfortunately. So it will have to be his friends that come together and make this bond payment for him, Your Honor. His parents are no longer here. He does have a newborn child that was born while he's been in custody. He has been in custody 291 days, Your Honor. No indictment. He had a preliminary hearing all the way back in August of this year, Your Honor. Still no indictment. Victim is not opposed to him being released. This has been confirmed by our office. They don't even live in this state, Your Honor. So he is not a threat to, intimidate the witness or anything like that. I read the pretrial report here. He does not have prior felony convictions, does not have 2 or more failures to appear, has not been convicted for 2 or more violent offenses in the last 10 years. Again, Your Honor, I want to stress that he did have his preliminary hearing back in August. Case is still not indicted. His bond is completely unreachable for him. So we're going to ask, Your Honor, if you can lower the bond to $50,000, which is still going to be unbelievable for his friends to try to put money together, but that is what we're requesting, Your Honor.
Some Jotty.
Your Honor, my office has spoken with the victims today, and all 3 of them were opposed to his receiving a bond. I don't know if perhaps my colleague's office reached out to a different victim, perhaps. But I do
We have a Janice Dwyer.
Yes,
Miss-
she is one of the victims, Your Honor, as is Miss Lisa Bono.
Yeah, they're both here. Ms. Dwyer, Ms. Bono, would either of you like to say anything?
I am opposed to, this is Janice Dwyer. I
Okay,
am
I'm
opposed.
sorry, hold on. I'm sorry. You have to turn your camera on though when you talk to me.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
And then before you say anything, just hold up. I got to swear you in. All right, ma'am. If you raise your right hand, you swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, told truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Dwyer. Am I
I
pronouncing
was
that right, Dwyer?
I'm sorry, I was asked if we were opposed to him being released, and yes, I am.
Okay, and he was previously set a bond, and you understand he's been in more than 90 days. So after 90 days, he has we're statutorily required to give him a bond. So right now he has a $170,000 good bond, which means he has to go through a bonding company. I mean, he can post the cash, but he has to have property or the bonding company, okay?
Mhm.
But I do want you to know he's entitled to a bond by law, okay?
Yes,
But I appreciate it. Ms. Bono, if you don't mind raising your right hand for me. Ms. Bono, do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right. I'll hear from you, Ms. Bono. Same thing. I hope you heard that he's statutorily required. I have to give him a bond by law because he's been in more than 90 days without getting indicted.
Yes, I do understand that. But personal opinion, I would oppose the bond.
Okay. Are both of you still in fear for your safety?
We're certainly not in the general area anymore, but I do sleep better knowing now that he is not on the street.
Okay. And thank you both. You can stay on. I see you're videotaping there yourself or whatever, but that's fine. That's fine.
There was another one of our group that wasn't invited to this, and we're not sure why. This involved 4 people, and there were only 3 people or 3 different counts listed from what I saw on the indictment, but there were 4 of us.
So
So
I
that
have
4th person, I'm recording this for him.
Bono, Dwyer. Who's the other person?
Robert Webb.
Robert Webb.
He's on the Zoom, Judge.
He is Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb.
Oh,
Hello?
Mr. Webb, can you turn your camera on for me, please?
Yes.
All right, sir, if you raise your right hand, do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Webb, I'm not sure if you heard the same thing. So by law, he's required to get a bond because he's been in over 90 days and the case hasn't been indicted. Has nothing to do with me, but he has to get a bond. So go ahead and give me right now, I don't know if you heard, it's a $170,000 straight bond or a good bond.
So I understand, yes, that he is okay to get a bond for there, but I'm opposed to it as well.
So I guess what y'all are saying is you're supposed to be lowering the bond.
Correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Amjadi, thank all 3 of you. And Mr. Dwyer, I'm assuming that I don't know the name, but the other Dwyer is your son, your husband?
it's my husband.
Okay, all right. And I'm assuming he wants the same thing?
He does, yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Amjadi.
Also, real quick, Your Honor, I do apologize. That is the note that I have here. So I just want you to know I'm being upfront with the court. That's what I was told.
Okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Ms. Amjadi.
given all of the information, additionally, one thing that I really can't ignore and must bring to the attention of the court is the defendant has had 16 arrest cycles, 16, since 2016. That is really substantial. It's a figure we really can't ignore because it's sort of empirical proof that the defendant poses a certainty of reoffending. In addition to the fact that the victims do have concerns for their personal safety, any subsequent harassment or intimidation by the defendant. The defendant's actions show that he is a danger to the community. And for all of these reasons, the state's position here is that bond as previously set is fair and reasonable, and we respectfully request that the court keep bond at the prior figure.
Okay. It's a bond that I set before.
It looks like Judge Drake gave bond in the amount set here, Your Honor. $20K for the possession of a firearm charge.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because I could usually tell if it's what I did, because it kind of all reads the same. All right. So there's no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. You can only leave your home, sir, for a court, lawyer, or to seek medical attention. You also need to make sure that if you move, you supply an address to the state, which means through your attorney, and to this ankle monitoring company. Don't think there's a hold on him. Stay away from 265 Peachtree Center Peachtree Central Avenue. Also, sir, you're going to have to stay out of Fulton County. That means you can't come to Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. That is the only reason you can come to Fulton County. So if you got to go, let's say you live in DeKalb, let's say you got to go to Cobb County, get onto it, fill up a gas in DeKalb County, get on 285, go to Cobb County, fill up a gas in Cobb County, go back to DeKalb County. Don't run out of gas. Don't get a flat tire. Don't do any of that. Any of that you do and it happens in Fulton County, that's a violation of your bond condition. All right. No further contact with Lisa Bono, Bono, Brian Dwyer, Dwyer, Janice Dwyer, and Robert Webb, Webb. Stay away from all Marriott hotels. So all these previous bonds are set. So 20 on count one.
Sorry, Judge. Which hotels did you say stay away from?
Oh, Marriott hotels.
All right.
All right. 40 on count two, 40 on count three, 40 on count four. Hold on a second. You know what? Since I'm adding something, so I'm going to leave all the bonds the same as they are, except for since I'm adding it, that means I have to modify the bond a little bit. So on possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, it's at 20. I'm going to reduce it to 19,000. So it went from 170,000 to 169,000. So I had to since I'm modifying your conditions, I'm modifying the bond. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth.
I'm sorry, Judge. I missed that total. Well,
I'm leaving everything. What's 169? I only took 1,000 off of count one since I modified the bond conditions, and I obviously need to do this. So best of luck to you, sir.
thank you very much, Judge. That does complete my business. It was a pleasure seeing you. May I be excused?
Oh, you too, Mr. Tessier. Have a good weekend. Sir, you can leave the booth. All right, so we had someone on here. We had like SPO Baskin who was driving. Was he supposed to be here for something?
Yes, I was originally supposed to be here for, it was a case against Bondi Humphrey.
Oh, that one was removed from I think it was indicted. Indicted or dismissed. Let's see.
Number 15, what
All
happened?
right. That one was that we addressed bond on December the 5th. I think, were you in there when I addressed bond at that prelim?
Not at that one. I was in court with him earlier, I think at the beginning of the week.
All right. Yeah. Bond was addressed on the 5th of December. So we're not going to address it again. So he wasn't on here.
Okay. I didn't know if y'all still needed me or anything like that.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you
Sorry,
very much.
officer.
All right.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
officer. We don't have a list, so we couldn't have notified you. So sorry about that. You stay safe out there.
Oh, absolutely. You have a good one.
Thank you very much, officer.
Thank you. Anything else? We had everybody else on here. We can stop the stream.
Judge,
Yeah.
what happened to 10, 12, and 20?
I believe 20 was indicted already.
Anthony
Yes.
Jones?
So the court no longer has jurisdiction on 20. And you said 10 and 12?
Anthony
It's Larry
Jones,
Brown and Alfred Dodd.
they're off the well, Alfred Dodd's got to get a conflict. Larry Brown's off the calendar, and Anthony Jones is a. Pretty sure, did you listen to every those names I called out? There was 9 that were removed, but we added.
I was not right here.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, we need a conflict attorney. So we have to reach out to Craig Lewis or Gina Bernard to find out what's going to happen there.
Okay.
All right. I'll stop the stream.